He had just done the unthinkable, not in the way anyone expected. 6 weeks ago, Ilia Malinin, the most dominant figure skater on the planet, walked onto Olympic ice in Milan as the heaviest gold medal favorite in a generation. He had won 12 straight international competitions. He had landed 7 quadruple jumps in a single program, a feat no human being had ever done before. The world called him the Quad God, and in Milan, he fell twice. He covered his face with his hands, and the entire figure skating world held its breath. But here's the part they never show you on the highlight reel. The moment Mikhail Shaidorov, a Kazakhstani skater who wasn't even in the top 5 after the short program, was confirmed as the new Olympic gold medalist, Ilia Malinin didn't disappear into the locker room. He didn't stare at the floor. He didn't make excuses. He walked directly across that ice and pulled Shaidorov into the kind of embrace that you don't perform for cameras. He genuinely meant it. He later said, "I went up to him and I congratulated him, because watching him skate, I watched him in the locker room, and I was just so proud of him." NBC Sports. That moment went viral, not because it was calculated, because it wasn't. And what happened next is the story we're about to tell you. A story about what real greatness looks like when the scoreboard isn't in your favor. What one figure skating champion did at the Met Gala that stopped the entire fashion world. And how 6 weeks after one of the most stunning defeats in Olympic history, Ilia Malinin walked into an arena in Prague and reminded every single person on Earth exactly who he is. Let's go back to Milan first, because you need to feel the weight of what happened there. In one of the biggest upsets in figure skating history, the 21-year-old Malinin fell twice and made other major mistakes in the free skate. This was a man who had won 14 competitions in a row entering those games, the longest winning streak in men's skating in decades. The pressure was suffocating. Malinin later said the pressure leading up to the event and the abuse he received online was unbearable. Think about that for a second. The greatest skater in the world, crushed not just by the weight of expectation, but by the cruelty of the internet. Yahoo Sports. And still, in that most broken moment, he chose grace. Despite his own despair at dropping from gold medal favorite to 8th place, he still took the time to congratulate and warmly embrace Shaidorov, who had only been in 5th place after the short program. In sports, we talk about character constantly. We rarely see it displayed this purely. The International Olympic Committee saw it. The International Fair Play Committee saw it. And millions of fans around the world saw it too, casting votes in record-breaking numbers, surpassing even the record-breaking engagement seen during the Paris 2024 Games, a remarkable feat for a Winter Games edition. CBC Sports. IOC President Kirsty Coventry said, "Fair play is the heartbeat of the Olympic movement." Ilia's actions reminded us all that excellence is not just measured by a podium finish, but by the respect and solidarity we show our competitors in our most difficult moments. Olympics. Malinin received the 2026 Fair Play Award, the first awarded at a Winter Olympics since the legendary Italian bobsledder Eugenio Monti in 1964, 62 years. And when Malinin accepted it, he said something that I want you to sit with. Congratulating Mikhail wasn't about the results. It was about the shared journey we take as athletes. Knowing that fans worldwide connected with that moment means more to me than any medal. U.S. figure skating. More than any medal. Now, while all of this was unfolding in the world of figure skating, another story was happening at the intersection of sport and something else entirely. Alysa Liu, the 20-year-old American who won Olympic gold in women's figure skating in Milan, ending a 24-year drought for U.S. women's skaters, made her Met Gala debut on May 4, 2026, marking a historic moment for the figure skating champion who has seamlessly transitioned from ice to high fashion. Art threat. The 2026 Met Gala theme was costume art, with the dress code "Fashion is Art." And Alysa didn't just show up, she showed up as a statement.
Designer Nicolas Ghesquière created a custom red gown for Louis Vuitton, and the concept was unlike anything on that carpet. Her stylist Katie Kin described the inspiration. Alysa exists at the intersection of athleticism and art. Our look is a dissected dress. It's meant to recall a cross-section of a human body or a cell. The riffles have an anatomical shape, almost like muscle striation, veins, the interior of a cell. Art threat. A dress that looked like what's underneath human skin. Crimson ruffles cascading like muscle fibers, the body of an Olympic champion rendered in fabric. If that isn't fashion as art, nothing is. The morning of the gala, Louis Vuitton announced Liu as a house ambassador. Liu said, "It's honestly surreal to be a house ambassador for Louis Vuitton. It's truly an honor and a privilege, especially for a figure skater to be recognized in this way." MSN. Figure skaters on the Olympic podium in February, on the Met Gala steps in May. That is a new kind of cultural power, and it is just getting started. But the story, the one that hit differently, the one that gave chills to everyone who watched, came 6 weeks after Milan, in Prague, Czech Republic. The 2026 World Figure Skating Championships, the last competition of the season, and for Ilia Malinin, something more. A reckoning, a reclamation. He said himself, "This was probably one of the easiest world championships I've been to, just because of the amount of pressure I had at the Olympics, and going here, I felt like it was almost no pressure at all." Olympics. No pressure, after everything, because he had already survived the worst. What is pressure to a man who fell at the Olympics and still walked over to congratulate the winner? The capacity crowd of more than 15,000 spectators at the O2 Arena went wild when he landed his trademark backflip. He landed 5 quadruple jumps, clean, controlled, intentional. And when that final pose hit, instead of covering his face, he screamed, fists in the air, eyes to the ceiling. A roar that filled that entire arena and traveled, it felt like, all the way back to Milan. ISU home of skating. As the words World Champion 2026 flashed on the board behind him, a smile, at first one of relief and then of joy, spread across his face. Olympics. He won the free skate with 218.11 points and the title with an overall score of 329.40, his third consecutive world championship, outpacing the field by nearly 23 points. For context, that score would have won Olympic gold in Milan. Think about that. The man everyone counted out didn't just come back. He came back with a score that would have rewritten history. U.S. figure skating. Malinin is the youngest man to win a third world title since Russian Alexei Yagodin in 2000, and the second youngest American to achieve the feat after Dick Button, who won his third of 5 in a row at age 20 in 1950. NBC Sports. He is 21 years old. And here is what all 3 of these stories, Ilia Malinin's Fair Play Award, Alysa Liu at the Met Gala, and the Prague comeback share in common. They all ask the same question, and they all answer it in the same way. What do you do when the world has already decided what you are? What do you do when the pressure is crushing, the spotlight is merciless, and the outcome isn't what you planned? You show up, you show grace, and then you show them all exactly what you're made of. Ilia Malinin didn't just win a world championship in Prague. He answered every critic, every cruel comment, every moment of doubt, not with words, but with a 329.40 and a scream that shook the rafters. Some people talk about character. These people showed it. If this story moved you, hit that like button. Subscribe if you want more stories that go beyond the scoreboards. And drop in the comments, do you think Malinin should have won Olympic gold, or did Milan reveal something we needed to see? Let's talk.